Let's go drive.
Well, the plan is we've got all our security in order in our 2 cars, and we've got a minibus as well. And shortly we'll be off to Folkestone, where we're going to go through the tunnel to northern France and arrive in Calais in the early hours of the morning. And we'll be on the beaches, I think, about 3:30 tomorrow morning, looking for any boat crossings, looking for any migrants. And then later on in the afternoon, we'll be in the camps in Calais. And who knows what we're going to find there. And last time I came was 3.5 years ago. It was in winter time. All we did see was the French police playing with the drones and the beach buggies and stuff like that. Let's see if there's a big presence there this time. I doubt it. And it was all young men. There's no women or children or families there. It was just young men. They were teaching them how to speak English. They got little schools set up, getting them ready for the journey across the channel. Once the young men had crossed the channel, they were waiting for them at the other side in the hotels, ready to coach them through the asylum process. I always said at the time, and I still say the same, that the NGOs are as bad as the people smugglers. It's all part of the same trade. Could be one of the police officers we've just seen, actually. We've got quite a few police officers behind us. They're showing a lot of interest this morning since we arrived. They've stopped and spoken to us. This is a great bit of kit. I know the French police are using this and drones and all sorts of top kit, all paid for obviously by the British taxpayer.
And Lee Anderson, tell us a little bit about where you are today, because you are in France. We can see some smoke behind you. Just want to tell us a little bit about what you're doing there.
Yeah, we're outside a migrant camp. We're between Calais and Dunkirk. We've been up early doors this morning. We was on the beaches at about 4 a.m. this morning looking for possible boat crossings. We didn't see any, but we saw signs that they'd been crossing there before. We saw a dinghy that had been cut up and left on the beach. It's a disgusting conditions here. There's bonfires, there's lots of rubbish everywhere. We've seen the NGO officers as well. And this is where the journey starts across the channel for a lot of people. Some of these people in these camps have come from countries thousands and thousands of miles away, and now they're camped here, living in all sorts of squalid conditions, ready to make that journey across the channel. And it begs the question, why are these people living like this when they could claim asylum in France? His friends are in the UK. Have you got friends in the UK?
Yeah.
Did they arrive on small boats?
للبحر.
Yeah.
On boat, yeah. And has he already paid the money for the boat? How much?
€1000.
1,000.
It's about the same price everywhere. It's like 1,200 euros to get on a small boat. Has he tried already to get on a boat? Has he failed?
6 مرات.
6 times.
6 times he's tried. So this nonsense you see from the Home Office about stopping 60% of the crossings, this chap here has tried 6 times, and he'll keep trying till he gets to the UK. So they might stop the boats, but they're not stopping the people. Eventually they will get here. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Concerns you a little bit is when they all cover their faces up, the young men, and you think to yourself, why are they doing that? I mean, the only reason I can think of for them covering their faces up is because they've maybe done something bad in the past, or they could be recognised. They're from Somalia. Is that sign language for Somalia?
I only interest to fuck.
Are you going to come and enrich our country by the sounds of it? Yeah. And you're coming to England, yeah?
I need it.
Nearly.
I need it. I need to be UK.
You need to be in the UK.
Yeah.
How much does it cost you? How much money?
I pay money.
How much?
€1,200.
1,200 euro. So what do you want to do when you get to the UK? What work?
I have to find my life good. You know?
Yeah?
I need that.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't like what you are doing.
We just want to tell your story.
The story?
You want to tell your story about why you're here.
Bad, you know.
Yeah? So when you come to the UK, what do you think the opportunities are for you?
I'm not going to UK, I'm going to Scotland.
You're going to Scotland?
Yeah.
Okay. Why Scotland?
Yeah, I like it.
You like Scotland?
Edinburgh.
On a human level, I do feel sorry for this chap, but I cannot see him coming to the UK and actually enriching our society at all. I think he's going to be trouble and cost us a lot of money. And do we really want that sort of person in our country? I don't want him in my village, and I would suspect that most people in our country wouldn't want him living next door to them in a HMO with a load more. That might sound harsh, but that's just a fact of life. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. People have been burning the rubbish, and it's right next to the tents that they're living in. Little children and women living there. There's a big fire at the side of that as well. So the NGOs, they're across the road as well. I think they're a big part of the problem here. They're literally encouraging people to come here to settle and getting them ready for that perilous journey across the channel. They're not warning these people how dangerous it is to cross the channel. They're literally encouraging people to come here and get on those dinghies, and they really should hang their heads in shame. Every single death in the channel is avoidable, and they're part of the problem. There's no way that these illegal migrants, when they jump on these dinghies, there's no way they're getting into that sea without rescue boats being there. It's all organised, it has to be organised. The police have to know where and when they're going to turn up. The French Navy and the French authorities do. 150 men jumping on a dinghy, knowing full well that will not make the journey to the UK. They know they're going to get picked up, they know they're going to get met, they know they're going to get food, drink, life jackets, put on a boat, ferried over and taken to a 4-star hotel in the UK. And when you look at the conditions they were living in yesterday in the camps, in the squalid conditions, you know, 24 hours later they'll be in a hotel in Canary Wharf, like the Britannia, somewhere like that, free Wi-Fi, 3 meals a day, and free to roam around Canary Wharf doing whatever you want. As you all know, I was here 3.5 years ago. Things have got considerably worse over the past 3.5 years. If I came back in 3 years' time, it'll be even worse. And in the coming weeks and months, I think we'll probably see a lot more of stuff like this on the beaches in France. More fatalities, unfortunately, and more people coming into northern France, and more problems back home in the UK.